No, we should be
We
live now.
are officially live.
Amazing.
I am something is off. My laptop is acting crazy.
It is
Uh,
having its own life.
Huh?
The laptop is having its own life.
Yeah, it's having its own thing. Hi, Susie. How are you today?
Hello. Hi, Rosanna. I'm doing very well today. How are you, by the way?
I am doing great despite the technical stuff that's going. Um, I'm so excited for this session.
Hmm.
We are doing this in the anticipation of tomorrow, International Women's Day. So, and I'm really, really happy to kick this full month of celebration and these kind of like powerful sessions that we gonna go together in. And I am so excited for today.
Amazing. I'm excited as well, actually. I'm excited for the entire month. I know as women, we should be celebrating every month, but March has something special for women.
Agree, agree. And I kind of like I wanted today to kind like it's funny that we needed a day to remember for us to remember to celebrate, but I think it's
Hmm.
also good. It's like the birthday, like there's a lot is going on and a lot of celebrating, and I love the theme for this year. Accelerate action is kind of pushing through, and I think
Yeah.
2025 is promising a lot of action. It's already doing a lot. So to start, and first, hi to everyone who is joining us today. Let us know, where are you joining from? I'm joining from London today. And Susie, let's start with a short intro about you, who you are, what's your background, and what you're currently doing.
All right, amazing. Thank you, Razan. And hello to everybody who is listening to us. And it's afternoon where I am. I am currently in Dubai, and it's a beautiful weather, of course. This is a winter season in Dubai, so it's beautiful. So I am a life and career coach now. I recently founded the Q Concept, which is a platform where we empower women, we develop women, we believe in self-development. So although we mainly focus on women, we also invite some men to join the platform from time to time to also be coached, because we believe that the world is made by both men and women. So everybody should be developing somehow. Women are developing, men as well. We don't want anybody to be behind. So I have a degree in business management, especially in human resources and marketing. But I've recently, since last year, July, I decided to go full time into this business of women empowerment, self development, and I've been enjoying the process so far. Enjoying.
Love that. And I know you like you've been in corporate in a very men dominated industry for quite some times, and recently you had what we call it the leap of faith. You left the corporate world, you founded your own company, and you moved country, so there's a lot going on. So tell us about this kind of like brave
Y-
journey.
Wow. Brave journey indeed. I like those words, leap of faith, because it's quite a leap and it requires a lot of faith for you to do that. So, yeah, I've worked for the oil and gas industry for over 16 years. And as Razan mentioned, it's a male dominated industry. It's quite masculine, right? It's quite heavy for women, right? That's how society will describe it. And yeah, it was an interesting journey in my career. I think my career started with my dreams when I was a kid. Because when I was a little girl, I used to dream that I was going to work for multinational companies. And I desired that. And I used to tell that to people as well. Not everybody liked, to hear about my dreams. Of course, I understand some people even triggered me into saying negative things, like, nobody's going to hire someone like you. Like, oh, I used to be very small and skinny. I still am skinny, but back in the time I was really, really small, right? So some people joke when I would say that I was gonna work for this, huge companies, and I was gonna travel the world and be this executive woman. And these were people close to me, actually. I'm not talking about strangers. I'm talking about people who were part of my inner circle that will tell me things like, you're too skinny to be in a corporate world. You're too, like, you don't have the right skills. You don't have this and that. And well, I kind of surprised these people, with the time, with how successful I became in my corporate job. And yeah, I started in, like, really, really humble beginnings, in my career. I was assistant to HR, I was assistant to the operations, until I slowly, gradually, I scaled the corporate ladder, actually. And I got into, before I decided to drop my job, I had a role as a director, commercial director, actually, for one multinational group of several companies. So I was working with the CEOs in Europe. I was traveling the world. I was making presentations, speaking in public in Europe, Middle East. It was a beautiful career that I indeed, that I had. What I also can tell you, Razan, that I went through, that I experienced in my career, was this one specific company that I spent, I think, most of my career time. This was a huge American company. Of course, we had people from all over the world, but that company was like a school to me, because it taught me most things that I know about career. Most things, it was there that I learned, that I persevered, that I endured, that I strengthened, and I toughened myself up. I became this, professional woman in that specific company that had this massive impact in my life. And what I also noticed was that it wasn't only my, professional side. It was not just my career that was being impacted by the things that I was learning, the things that I was doing and growing in this company. My personal life also was touched. It's as if my self-development started from actually the point of my professional, side of my career. So this is, like, in few words, this is what I can tell you about my career. I loved all the experience that I gained. I loved all the time that I spent in all of the companies that I worked for, and especially the last company, of course. And if I would go back to working like that, I cannot say that right now. I'm not sure, because I am in a new journey in my life. I think I'm more in love now with my business, the way it is growing, and the things that I am also learning. As an entrepreneur, which is another kind of world. I still want to see what else life has for me. Yeah.
Um, Definitely, since you chose the entrepreneurship road, life has a lot on the fold for you. So get ready, settle up. But I want to go back. Like, I love how you beautifully um kind of described your role, and how did you gradually climb the corporate ladder. And I think a lot of us kind of agree with you in the fact that in today's world, in order to grow in your business, in your career, it's very difficult to separate your personal life from your job, and also kind of the day-to-day activity and operation, and learning how to deal with your peers, with your manager, with other people, with your clients. It kind of teach you a lot of soft and life skills, kind of a thing. But my question is, you a lot of people will listen to you and say, okay, you had this great career, you had this company you liked, you were enjoying doing that. Why did you decide to have your own? What was the turning point? What was the moment that Susie said, I am out, I need to do my own?
Amazing, amazing question. The thing is, Roseanne, there comes a time in your life where you start feeling like there is more to life than just this, where you start feeling the urge to pour into more people. And that's what I started feeling. I started feeling like I was not reaching the number of people that I wanted to reach at my job. You know, I was limited, you know, to the walls of the company that I was working for. And plus, when you have a job, you also have to, you know, comply with some policies and rules and so many things that will prevent you probably from impacting more people. If you're passionate to impact people, if you're someone who wants more, you know, women or men to hear your voice. And that's how I started feeling. I started feeling like, you know what, I don't think the corporate world has any surprising things for me else still waiting for me. But I do believe like I need a bigger container to pour into. And that's how I started
Okay.
feeling the urge of getting out of the corporate world and starting myself, you know, being a voice for other women, being a voice for everybody that needed self-development. That's where I started feeling like this is my turning point. It's now. And you know what, Rizan? There was one question that was popping constantly in my mind. If not now, when then?
Yeah, I love that. The power of now. Okay, so I want you, like, I have a lot of questions related to what you do, but before we go that, we go there, I want you to start with just giving us a brief, like, kind of explanation or description of what you do now at Q Concept, because I think the word empowerment and women empowerment, it's a great word, but it's kind of very big, very kind of like there's a lot can come under that umbrella. So I want you to kind of start with explaining what do you do and where do you focus on, and then we can take from there because we want to go to the
Amazing.
point.
Okay. That's amazing. That's a beautiful question as well. I am a life and career coach. So, what I basically do is work on self-development for people. So, people come to me because they say, Susie, I'm looking for a job. I have been looking for a job for many years and I haven't been successful. I need your guidance to know how to. And what I do for this kind of people is I help them create a system that will take them from point A to point B. And that goes the same for searching for a new job, growing in your career, or if you're looking forward to develop a new business. Especially because I believe women, they have a lot of entrepreneurship in them. There's a lot of entrepreneurship skills that is in the heart of women. It's as if women were born with a certain creativity different than men. And I love to tap into that in all women. That's why I decided, you know what, I'm going to guide women in that. Now, in regards to the men, I do coach men too, because I don't make the separation. What happens is when I see the man that comes to me asking for guidance, asking for coaching, and that he's a serious man, he's a responsible and respectful man, I filter him, I filter his professional intentions. And after he goes through all of these filters, then I start working with that person. It's easier for me to work with a woman because I understand women better because the flow and the energy that goes that we are able to exchange is different. It's easy because we kind of speak the same language. So that's why I decided to be this life and career coach, especially for women.
I love that. And I remember from our previous discussion that it kind of sparked this conversation that you have a specific kind of focus where you focus on helping women increase their pay. We all know
Mm,
about gender gap. I don't want to go there. I don't want to kind of like put my statistic hats and say, oh, we all know where is the world with the gender gap, and in terms of pay, in terms of representation on the C level, or even on like a board level, or on executive level. But there's a lot of things that we're going to go through uh, for that particular, but I want you to kind of shed a little bit on the your coaching when it comes to that specific part, helping women increase their pay, whether within the job where they are, or moving from one level to another level.
Hmm. Amazing, amazing. So I have a specific program called the Serpent Huntress. In this program, I help women to get to their leadership roles, the leadership roles they love, something that they really want to do, something that they are passionate to do, be it a role in a corporate job or maybe a leadership job in a business that they want to start. You know that some people don't take them as leader, they don't take themselves as leaders when it comes to their own business. But I want to encourage women to start thinking, even in their entrepreneurship, in their business, as leaders. This is a leadership role that you are taking on. And what I also do is help them increase their finances. Let's say that this is a woman that wants to find a leadership role in the corporate role. Yes, you're going to be increasing your finances, you're going to be increasing your paycheck, you're going to be increasing your income. So I go through a series of course, questions to understand what the woman, what the experiences this woman has, what is her background in terms of where has she been already in terms of companies, where she wants to be in the future, what is her real dream outcome, right? So usually my coaching programs are tailored specifically to the needs of women. So I also see the following reason. Women, unfortunately, are not good negotiators, let me say it like that. Actually, most women don't even negotiate their salaries because there is, unfortunately, there is I think, a misconception when it comes to the money mindset. And for some women, they still feel afraid of talking about money, afraid of organizing themselves in terms of financial literacy. So in this Sharpened Huntress program, I also train women on financial literacy to learn how to speak up for herself, to learn how to be confident when you were negotiating your salary. Let's say that you are working for a company right now, you just want to get to the next level, right? You're not looking for another job, but just in the same company, you want to get to a leadership role. Okay, companies, they will promote you. That's normally what happens. However, what I also notice is the following. Companies sometimes they take a long time to adjust your promotion to your new salary. This is just what I have seen with my experience, right? And they will give you turns. They will tell you, let's discuss this with the time. Let's first see how you are
How are you going to
capable
do?
to handle this role. It's a leadership role, it's a new role, it's something that you're not used to. So let's first test the waters. And I personally don't agree with this. Test the waters for what? I've been working for this company for many years. What you need to test in me, right? So
Mm.
I kind of guide women to understand first how you need to shift your mindset and you become smart with your own career. You want to be intentional with your career. For example, Rezan, we spoke about this thing of life work balance, and it seems like something that you're separating. I am not apologetic of separating my personal life from my career life. To me, there is a need to find harmony in my life, and harmony means I am including my career into my life. My career is part of my life, right? So I'm not separating anything. I am the same human being here at the office, the same as I am at home, the same as I am in other places. My emotions are the same. So becoming smart, by becoming emotionally intelligent means I identify the right moments to apply the right emotions, to use the right emotions, to allow certain emotions to guide me or not. That's it. It's not about separating myself. Now I am a woman that has a lot of emotions. I will leave my emotions at home and then I come to the office like another person. No, the same body, the same spirit, the same soul that was at home is the same that I brought to the office today. So there is a lot of mindset work that I work with women when it comes to now learn how to negotiate. And you know why, Bezan? Because I also sense that most women, they're just afraid of negotiating the salary. That's why they don't even try to negotiate. Let's say, for example, someone who is looking for a job and they come to that phase of the recruiting process of negotiating your salary, right? You have been through many interviews already and they found you to be the one that they want to work with. Now they have a salary proposal for you. What happens? Most women, they just accept that proposal and that's it. They don't even negotiate because a negotiation is a process. It's a process that requires feedback back and forth. You receive their proposal, you check on it, and if you don't like, you have all the right to counter propose. Say something back, give a feedback, and propose what you feel like it's more aligned to your worth, to your qualifications. Because if you do not see that you can earn more than that they are, for example, offering you, they will also not see. Usually what happens is companies, they don't want to spend money with their new hires. So they're also cutting on the budget. So you need to play smart. You need to be smart to know how to negotiate in the right time.
I love that. I remember I did not I was an HR person and I never negotiated until I think my fourth job. And the reason for that, I remember reading Sheryl Sandberg book Lean In, and she was talking about when she was in Google and she was I think she was with Morgan Stanley and then she was offered the job at Google and she got the offer and did not negotiate, and then her mentor pushed her to go back and negotiate. And I think that was like an eye-opening moment for me, because if a woman at that level is not negotiating, then it's like a universal kind of a thing. I know that the young generations are different now. I think Gen Z are more bold and they are good negotiator, and good for them. Shout out to the Gen Zers. Um, but I kind of wanna just with the negotiation piece. Um, why do you think we as a women don't negotiate?
There is one thing that I find common, but I feel like it's not really obvious. It's just a
Okay.
mindset thing in women, which is most women in their careers, they still feel like imposters. They still feel like men are doing them a favor by allowing them to be now in the work market or in the work industry. So this is nothing that it's obvious. It's not in their mind. It's not in their conscious mind. It's more in like your subconscious, you know? It's not obvious, but your actions will tell that this is how you still see yourself. You feel like this company, by them hiring me, or my boss, because he's promoting me, he's doing me a favor. He's just, you know, it's just because of diversity. I don't really have the skills. That's why they are hiring me, or that's why they are promoting me, which means that if they're doing this favor to me, I should just accept whatever they're giving me. So I don't really have like space or grounds to even negotiate anything. I should just be thankful and accept the, the $5,000, whatever they're giving me. And you get into that new space of work without knowing that other people are making 10K, 15K, 20K. And a lot of women, they are losing a lot of money because of that. Because there is also another thing that I find women associate with this kind of behavior, which is thinking that not negotiating is being humble. I shouldn't be, thinking about money, wanting more money. It's something that it's not elegant. It's a lot of things that I feel that I see some women saying and some women behaving in a way that says, I don't really deserve more money. I'm fine with what I have. But it's a dangerous mindset, dear women, because you have the entire world to develop. You have your family to take care of. You have yourself to take care of. If you're not taken properly care of, you're not going to be healthy emotionally, mentally, physically. You're going to be frustrated with your work. Give it at least 3 years in that role without a salary raise, and you will see how frustrated this woman will be.
Or discovering that people who are at the same level getting paid higher than her, just because she didn't negotiate. And now it's difficult because the pay raise has like a lot of these rules of annual certain percentage and performance in that. What do you say to people who think if they negotiated they're gonna lose the offer?
Good question. Well, I do love to think that what is meant for me is going to be there waiting for me. It's going to be adjusted to me, to what I want. If we don't negotiate, we run more risk, of not being paid what we are worth. We run the risk of not being seen as the high qualified professional, like a high caliber kind of professional. And I think it's dangerous to be in that space. Plus, who said that you're going to lose the offer? Oh no, there are other people that the thing is, you also need to think that this company also needs you. The fear of feeling like the fear of thinking that you are the one who is after this job, you are the one who needs this job, is what prevents people from negotiating. It's what makes people have this fear of really fighting for what you are worth. You want to be paid what you are worth, not just be paid what they can give you. You need to position yourself as a professional who is completely relaxing her life. You're not afraid of them not giving you this offer or them going and giving the offer to someone else. You're not. Why? Because we have many other companies out there in the world waiting to work with you. That's how you want. This is the kind of energy you want to carry. You want to position yourself in society as this kind of high quality professional who's not afraid of negotiating anything, not afraid if they remove the offer, it wasn't meant for you.
Love that. So same concept. And I love how you integrated that monster called imposter syndrome, which we all go through in at different stages, different situations. I want to move from negotiating an offer to having a conversation, which is, I also think, another sort of negotiation. Having a conversation about a pay raise or promotion with your manager. Um, how like how can women confidently step into the room of their boss and say, I want that promotion, I want X amount as a pay raise?
Amazing, amazing question. Thank you, Razan. I don't think you need to go arrogant and step in his room and just say, I
Horizontal
need
style.
that, I want that. Not in that sense, of course, but you want you want to work on your self-confidence. I think self-confidence is one key, one master key for people to win the workplace game. I think self-confidence will help you to be more relaxed when it comes to sitting with your manager and having a proper conversation on the reason why this company needs to raise your salary. That's the first thing that you want to work on yourself. Get rid of your fears, have some self-confidence, and do it. You have to think the following. The no is already guaranteed if you don't even knock his door. So if you don't knock his door, it's a no. Your salary is not going to be raised. There's no negotiation there because you're not taking any action. Because actions create clarity. Actions brings clarity. Okay. Now you took the bold action, right? You've worked on your mindset, like, let's do this, girl. Let's go to this to his office and let's talk to him about salary raise because it's been 3 4 years that I'm in this role and it's time. You know what? Actually, in the interview, they promised me that after 3 months, my salary was going to be adjusted. And suddenly it's been 3 years and I have never seen that confidence now. Now we go to him and we sit very professionally and have a normal conversation with him. Or if you do not want to just sit with him first, you can also book in your calendar a time with him. I think that's going to break any kind of lack of confidence already. Because by the moment you book in his calendar meeting time with let's say Susie for salary negotiation or something like that, it is sending to him like a signal that you are bold already. He's going to start perceiving you in a different way, like, oh, this woman is bold. She's not afraid of talking about money. Because let's face it, salary is money. Compensation, monetary compensation is money. When people sometimes they try to cover or sugarcoat the situation, say, no, I'm trying to negotiate my salary as if it's not going to be money coming to your bank account. It is money coming to your bank account. So you want to have this this confidence to say, I can book this conversation with my manager. That's the first thing that you want to break, the fear of even booking that 30 minutes. And you don't need an hour. You want to be sharp with your own time. 30 minutes call with him. And then there you go. You have your confidence. You are already, you got rid of your fears, and you can naturally start just as a storytelling, explain how far you have been with the company, the value that you have brought to the company, the things you have accomplished so far. You can even go bolder as to say, like, if you remember exactly a percentage to which you allow the company to grow, let's say that you allow them, you help the company to grow 10% more on their revenue since you started. Amazing. Bring it during the conversation with your manager. Show him the reasons why you deserve this salary increase.
I love that. And I think um I believe that, like, I managed men and women, and I manage people who are older, younger, and I think one of the main differences that I kept seeing is when a man comes to me to talk to me about his promotion, there's no emotion in that conversation. There is
Mm.
no conversation about I am just hold on first. There is no conversation about I'm trying to stop this just
You're mute now, Lizanne.
there is no conversation about I am working more than everyone else. I am being working like overworked. The conversation is very focused on this is what I'm bringing to the table, and this is why I think I should get promotion. But with women, it's all about justification. It's not asking; it's justifying. You mentioned something, so there is for me there's two category. There is someone who waited for 3 years to ask for that promotion. Okay. And now they need to master courage and all of that to go for to ask for the promotion. But there is someone who's just coming in and they know that they want it. This is not, they're very ambitious. They know that this is not what they're, what so the ones that been there, they need to master the courage, they need to prepare, they need to go and have that conversation. But the person who just came in and they
Mm.
know that they want to be promoted within a year because they took a pay cut or they took a backwards, or they think they just wanted to get into the company because that was the only, whatever the reason. What would you advise them? How can they set themselves for success when it comes to that?
Well, I don't believe that people need to prove themselves to anyone actually to be promoted, to receive any salary increase, or to have any job. I believe that you need to work on yourself to develop, to grow, to allow your skills to really, grow, to strengthen, and allow yourself to become that high level kind of professional to the point where you have this kind of unshakable confidence to talk to anyone in any room with respect, of course, and education, but you are just confident and very relaxing when you're talking to anyone. So, be it the first time that you're going to talk to someone or to start working for this company, or even if you have been in this company for 3 years already, it requires just confidence in your own skills. If you're new, right, and you know that you know your skills, this is another thing. People, many professionals, they don't know themselves, they don't know their skills, they don't know what they bring to the table, right? And I like to encourage and recommend every man and women who don't know yet themselves in terms of their profession, they don't know their skills or competences, to do a skills inventory. This is what I call do a skills inventory. Everything that you know how to do, put it in a paper. Put it in a paper and work on it just to learn about yourself. What do you really bring to the table? There's one thing that you mentioned. Indeed, men are quite straightforward. They don't have to give excuses or justify anything. And women shouldn't be different because in the end, you have a goal. Your goal is to have a salary raise. You do not need to bring third parties into this conversation. You don't need to talk about other people, how you work better than so and so or whatever. You don't need to bring that to the table. You need to focus on yourself, on what you can bring to the table of this company. And that, for instance, for newcomers, if you already know your worth, if you already know your qualifications, you already know what you bring to the market, you're not afraid, in this moment of negotiation. So it will be completely normal asking for what you think you're worth. And the thing is, you don't have to attach any emotion to it. What happens is some people they are afraid of the no because of how they will feel when they receive the no. Forget about the feeling for that moment. Accept that a no is a possibility, but I'm after the yes here. And if I am after the yes, I am going to work towards the yes to happen instead of, being anxious that, oh, they will probably say no because I don't have that much experience, because I was just laid off from my previous company, or because I'm a woman. They're just going to say no to me, or maybe they'll just give me a very low salary. That's already in your mindset. You're already setting yourself for failure. And before you even reach that, table conversation with this man or woman, with this recruiter or even your manager, you're already failing because you're lacking the confidence necessary to handle this kind of conversation. And
So,
another
Susie,
thing, Rizan, okay,
okay, go
yeah,
in
go
and
ahead.
then because this is a very important point, right? So we have
Mhm,
all these what if or I'm afraid of that. It's all
mhm,
in the head, right? And let's be frank. There's so much going on, right? There
mhm,
for and I'm not saying it's easy for men. Men has their own drama as well.
mhm,
I think we as a women we experience things different, right? So
mhm,
we have other pressure. There's people who have a husband, who have kids, who have more responsibility. Emotionally we process things differently. You've got
mhm.
a lot of hormones drama going on, so there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
My question is, these questions, and I like how Brene Brown calls them the gremlins, right?
Mm,
Those gremlins, those mean voices, those all of these questions that in our heads,
mm,
how do we deal with them? Like, give me practical um things that they can do now. Like, I know I know we need to master courage, we need to build confidence. That's easy said and done. Like, If I am in it today, what would you advise me to do in order to be able to at least give myself that piece of courage to just go one step?
Mm. Amazing. Very practical exercise journal. Just write down what your fears are. All the questions that you're having, write them down and don't prevent yourself from the questions. Allow all the questions to come to your mind. This is like as if you're doing your homework before you go to this negotiation table. Your homework is sitting with yourself, you're researching the market, right? So you want to be sure how much the market is paying for this kind of role, for example. You're researching, you're making phone calls to understand from professionals who are already in this kind of role exactly how much they are making, how much this the for instance the company, the business line that this company is in, how much all of these companies in this line are making or paying for this kind of role. You're doing all of your homework, and part of your homework is also sitting with pen and paper, writing down all your fears, writing down all the questions that are coming to your mind. Let's say all of these what ifs. Put all of these what ifs into your pen and paper. Take it out of your system. See them and face them. Every what if that comes to your mind, try to bring them a solution, because I am sure that a lot of ideas will start coming, popping up in your mind as well. What if they don't they don't accept me because I'm a woman? Why wouldn't they accept me because I am a woman? What is wrong with being a woman? What is wrong with being a woman in this kind of role? How many women do you know that are in this kind of role? Let's say that you don't know anybody that is in this kind of role. It's only men that usually take on this engineering role or civil construction role, whatever the role is. I was, for example, in this male-dominated industry, right? Which I think I'll see more men than women most time, right? In the operations, in the field, offshore. However, I knew that if I don't know any woman that is already doing what I want to do, for example, I want to be the first one at least opening the way for the other women that are coming. Okay. So my challenge of going to that negotiation room is not just for me. It's because there is a lot other women that I'm going to tell this story, how I was able, for instance, to secure 30% of increase in my salary after 1 year of working for that company. How was I able to secure 40% of high of increase in my salary? How did I negotiate that? So all of these things, when you put it out in your journaling phase, in a quiet moment in which you will reflect on why are you afraid of negotiating this? These are just normal people. The recruiter is just a normal person just like you. The manager is just a normal person just like you. But I also notice, Rizan, people are afraid of their managers. There is a fear of the manager. If you're already afraid of the manager, you will be afraid of whatever conversation you're going to have with him. It doesn't matter if it's salary negotiation. What if it's just a report that you should have sent and you didn't send yet? You Everything about your manager, this lady or this man that is your boss, is going to trigger fear in you. And that's something that you need to resolve apart. Everything that, for instance, for newcomers, people who have been looking for a job for years, and suddenly 4 years later they have this kind of blessing, let me say, they have this job, now they're negotiating salary. You need to also treat all this fears that will trigger in you, because it's many years that you are waiting anxiously for this opportunity. And now that you receive it, it will probably trigger you in your fear of losing it. That's why you will we will come to that moment of you are afraid of losing the offer. If you negotiate the offer, maybe they'll say, oh no, keep on negotiating. But you need to trust that the process of searching for a job that you are putting in place is being fruitful. Now, you will be afraid also because you do not have other companies waiting for you. And that's dangerous. You want to have like other companies also proposing your job. You don't want to have just one company proposing you. But Susie, that's the only company that I was able to. Is it really? Did you really open your eyes completely to see the market? Because sometimes we are so anxious of having a job, that we become like narrow sighted. And it's like we only see here. You don't turn here, you don't turn here. So you do not see the market completely. You're narrowed. And because you are so focused on just having one job, just any job, please, just any job, all of this desperation, all of this fear is going to unfortunately weaken your negotiation skills. It's going to unfortunately kill your confidence when it comes for you to be in the table of the negotiation. Very, very practical. The simplest way of you to deal with all of these questions is write them down and write the possible solutions that those each one of those questions may have. It may be solutions that will come from your own mind, or you may search on, on the internet. Maybe you can search on books. Search for books that are talking specifically about this kind of issues, this kind of problems that people have during negotiation. Study. That's another thing, Rizan. People go to job interviews, to salary negotiations without studying properly the circumstance. It's what I have been saying. You need, for example, specifically for salary negotiations, you need to master the basic information on finances. You have to have financial literacy. You have to understand money. If you don't understand money, every percentage that they will offer you will be fine for you. Any percentage, they will say, you know what? We are going to increase your salary to 15% more, which is going to be um $1,000 more, and you'll feel like, wow, $1,000 more, it's a lot of money. Because you haven't done your homework around the mindset of money, you will take it as it's a lot of money, and then you don't even negotiate anymore. Once again, you fall into that same mistake of not negotiating, and then you accept that 15%, and then you go. It's been 3 years already, right? That you waited for a salary to be increased. And then after these 3 years, you receive 15% offer or increase in your salary. And once again, you don't negotiate. Most people, they think it's a favor that the company is doing to them to give them this 50%, 15% raise. No, come on, Susie. How many people you know that haven't been raised their salaries in like 4 years? Hey, did you know that this so and so, they have been working for 10 years in this company, same role, same salary? What do I have to do with this so and so? Do you understand what I'm saying, ladies? It is about you thinking about your development as well. One thing I like to say, Rizan, is the following. When people ask me, Susie, how can I change the world? And I tell them, change yourself, change yourself, influence yourself in the best way, develop yourself. Invest time, energy, space, and money in growing yourself first. Take care of your space. Take care of your life, and you will see that you will bring a little bit more of light into the world.
I love that. And I love the fact that we use this word like growing ourselves, invest in ourselves, right? Give me three things that they can do and you consider this our investment.
Okay. Excuse me. For my dear ladies, I want you to connect to your feminine energy. That's the first thing that I'm going to say because I think it's so beautiful and it's so rich. When you connect to your feminine energy, it's as if your eyes start to open to understand your own worth as a woman first. And then you understand what you bring to the table, and then you understand who you are, your mission, your purpose, why you were doing this in the first place. Why are you looking for a job? Why are you working? Why are you opening this business? And this is going to help you also to continue on the road to success instead of giving up. When you always go back to the reason why you were doing this, and you tell me, Susie, I'm doing this because I want to give a better lifestyle to my family. Perfect. Amazing. I love this why. Or you tell me, Susie, I'm doing this because I want to develop my own life. I want to have a better life condition for myself. Let's say that you maybe are a single woman and you don't have kids yet. Okay, that's okay too. It's not being selfish. I know many women will say, That's being selfish, Susie. I shouldn't be thinking about myself too much. You should be thinking about yourself. You should be thinking. So, one is connect to your feminine energy, embody this woman, this amazing, beautiful woman that you are, this high caliber kind of woman, kind of professional that you are. Speak up when you feel like you need to maybe speak up a little bit more on your own behalf. Do it. Do it. Another thing that I would ask you ladies to do is invest in your self-development. Invest in your self-development.
How
And the
that look
third
like?
thing,
Give me
what is
example. Give me
development? What
like
is
give me two things
development?
they can do. Give them two things they can do, and that would consider self-development.
Okay. Learn to articulate your ideas, for example. Learn how to put in the right words, whatever is in your mind. Many people, for instance, they go to school, and that's amazing. That's beautiful. I believe in education. That's why I invest in self-development. But you learn a lot of, mathematics and science, which is beautiful, and geography and all of that, but you do not learn how to articulate your own ideas. You need to learn how to articulate your own ideas, how to speak. That's why nowadays I think Gen Z is speaking a lot on learn how to speak in public, lose the fear of speaking in public because it's the practice. And the speaking skill is going to give you confidence when it comes to, being in the negotiation table. If you don't even know what you're going to say, you have a lot of beautiful ideas in your mind, you are at home and you think of how you're going to say to your boss, what you're going to say to your boss. But then when it comes for the moment to speak with your boss, no words. Why? Because you haven't yet mastered the art of articulating your ideas properly. So,
I love
self
that.
development is this: invest in, learn how to articulate your ideas, read books so that you can expand your knowledge, learn, search for the right topics. When you look at your life, you're doing that reflection and you think, Susie, in my life, these and these aspects are not yet there. You still want to develop more. Look for books, look for documentaries, look for TV shows that are working, that are talking, addressing this kind of aspects in life. So you can learn from other people's views as well. So you can learn from other perspective. So invest in that. Read books, watch TV shows that are not just going to entertain you, but you can harvest from it. You can take some knowledge that you can use in your daily life. It's really important for you to do that. Connect to your feminine energy. Invest in your education, which is self-development. Now, here again in the self-development, look at the world. The world is evolving almost like every day. It's almost like everything is always evolving, is developing. Everything is always moving forward. You want to also move forward. You do not want to stay behind. So if you don't want to stay behind, if you want to move forward, you need to invest in self-development. What self-development? It's just educating yourself. It's just looking for your own tools, your own process, things that are going to help you go to the next level in your life. Increase your level of intellectuality, for example. Increase your level of intelligence. Increase your education. Help yourself to be in the right networking, for example. Put yourself in the right places. you know this is so important. Sometimes you say, oh, surround yourself with um you know highly successful people. Yeah, that is true. That is really beautiful, and we should do that. But you want to also disconnect yourself from the wrong group of people. This is also part of your self growth, of your self development. You want to start disconnecting, detaching, disassociating yourself from all of this negative and maybe negligent group of people as well. People who are not really working, they're not thinking about what's going to be the future for them, a successful mindset. They're not having that mindset of growth, of someone who wants to develop yourself, but you also want to develop society. You want to think in a way that you're thinking of yourself, but you're also thinking about others.
I love this. I love it so much because it's actually kind of taking me to my next question, because nowadays everyone talks about network, put yourself out there, um, visibility, connection, and it's kind of became some sort of prerequisites for people to step into leadership and executive. And we hear all of this now conversation about executive presence. Um, so tell me about that. Like, how can women, first of all, what is executive presence, right? And how can, like we come in all shapes and shades, right? So some people are not comfortable with like networking and going out. Some people are introvert, some people are just shy. There is culture barriers, there's like there is religion barriers, there's I don't know, like there's so much barriers out there. So first, what is executive presence? And second, how can women in today business landscape, how can they step into that light?
All right. Well, in simple words, executive presence is just having power and the right energy whenever you are in certain groups of people or in certain rooms that you enter. It's like having that presence that it's showing power, self-empowerment, it's showing confidence, boldness, it's showing that this person is, as we say, nailing it. It's this person has a certain aura that speaks, leadership. This person has a certain presence that says leadership. She or he is here, is high. And she doesn't have to say anything. Executive presence is not about you having like a beautiful speech, a nice speech, a powerful speech. No, your entire presence, without saying anything, will carry with it an energy that will say, that's a powerful woman, that's a powerful man. Your presence, your energy. And if you look a little bit the CEOs that have this kind of energy, they have this executive presence. Most of them, they don't really speak much. They don't. So executive presence is not about you speaking a lot nicely, having like those difficult words, technical words to speak about. No, it's more on your energy, how you, even without any words, you are impacting and commanding the room that you enter. Your presence is going to be felt. And somehow, I don't like to say this, but it's actually the reality. People will fear you, not because you are like a man who is scary to people. No, it's just your energy. You have this aura as if you, you as if you are a god or something, as if you are someone in a really high state. And that's something that you can gain with having your mindset in order. Your mind has to be in order. What is that? I know. I see your face expression like, what is this, Susie? Okay, let me explain a little bit. Your fears are preventing you from being in the rooms that you are probably supposed to be in. Your lack of confidence is doing that, is doing this to you, is unfortunately eating your goals alive. When you have the right mindset, when your mindset is in order, you just take anyone in the world as normal humans. You will not put people in a high pedestal and now you have to worship them or whatever. No, you're not afraid of anyone. CEO, director, founder, whoever, president, king, you're not afraid of anyone. You are respectful towards people. Yes, you are. You follow protocols when it's necessary. That is good. However, you're not afraid. So you speak normally. You have your position. You carry yourself in a manner that naturally demands respect, naturally demands, people to look at you in a leadership eye, with a leadership eye. People will naturally look at you and say, hi, this person, she or he carries something that just, exudes leadership. She just exudes this in her. It's nothing that you have to say, Susie, I have to prepare a lot myself today because I have this really big speech to do, so I want to have that executive presence. No, Just go with your mindset, the mindset that already is conquering the world, that you do not have to prove anything to anyone. You're relaxed. You don't have to justify anything about your life, about your leadership. No. Sometimes we don't have that executive presence because we think people who should have this executive presence are people who are already in leadership roles, CEOs, presidents, and stuff like that. Anyone can have an executive presence, but you have to work with your mindset. Your level of confidence needs to really be high, high, not to the point of arrogance, no, but high to the point of you know how to balance things in life. You know how, and you know how you're going to speak to each group of people, because everybody has their own way of speaking, their own way of communicating, their own language. Now, as a man or a woman that has an executive presence, you know how to, level yourself to others so that you can communicate clearly and they can understand you clearly as well. It's not about you forcing yourself into people's life or forcing your presence to be felt with fear. Now you're not forcing anything. Most things that are actually happening is just natural and effortless. There is no forcing. It is a power, but there is no forcing there. So for women, I do believe that women, when they connect to their feminine energy, they very much easily can, have this executive presence. Why? Because this presence is like an elegant presence, is a presence that is not forcing anything. You have power, you have magnetism, but you're not forcing anything here. And you will attract people to you naturally. You will attract people to people. People are curious actually to talk to you, to understand you, to know who you are, and how did you build your business, how you're making these millions, how is your project rocking it, how is your project the best project in Africa, the best project in Europe. People will naturally want to come to you because of your energy. Your presence will carry this. Now, women, we have this beautiful gift of speaking. We speak a lot. It's beautiful. That is true. But we need to also have a balance. We need to learn how to identify the moment in which we will speak, what we will speak, and to whom we will really speak. And we do not want to waste our gift of speaking. So we don't have to be speaking all the time, which means that if I go to a conference, for example, with I'll find a lot of professionals there. If I go to this conference, I don't want to be always the one who is showing off how nice I speak. No, but I want to also allow other people to speak. If you go to a meeting with your clients, if you go to a meeting with your managers, for example, you don't want to be the first one speaking. You actually want to be the last one speaking. You want to allow other people to engage. You want to allow other people to articulate their own ideas and say the things they want to say. And you want to calmly, in a really relaxing way, express your ideas. Last, not really being the first ones to speak. So that is a certain charm that you will carry with yourself. There is no need to be the show off man, the show off woman in the room, so that you can feel like this is executive presence because I know what to say, exactly how to say now. There is a certain charm that is in a silent person.
I love that. I want to go back to the evolve of the journey for women who were on a senior individual contributor role, that they want to step into a people manager role, or someone who's on a people manager role want to step into a senior leadership role. um there is a lot going on here. They're probably working so hard. They how give us three things that they need to do, or they need to utilize, in order to advocate for themselves and build that stage for them to step into it. Like, I am a manager, being a manager for a while, and I want to step into a senior leadership role. What are the three things that I want to make sure that I am doing?
Okay. First, what I want you to do is to study the role that you want to be in. Study this new leadership role that you really want to be in, you know, that you want to start working on and you want to be promoted to. You're gonna do your homework, which is um, how this leadership role works, what is expected from you, right? Because when you get there, you do not want to be pressured into delivering and showing results and all of that. And you feel like, oh, I didn't even know that that was expected from me. You want to do your homework before you get to that leadership role. The second thing is I want you to work on your mindset around shifting your current mindset as a normal employee. Let's say that you're not yet in a role of a leadership into, you know, you are shifting from this mindset into a mindset of a leader. You want to see yourself already there. You want to start operating, even if it's just in your mind. You want to see yourself already operating in such leadership role. You want to position yourself first energetically and in your mindset. You want to change that to already start kind of um, sending signals that you are ready to you're ready to take on that leadership role. You know how many people get to be invited to leadership roles is not because they're working so hard. And that's another thing that I want to break here. It's not about working too hard, especially for ladies. Ladies, once you connect to your feminine energy, you understand clearly that it's not really about working too hard. Yes, you definitely have to have some structure, strategy, some systems created in order to help your career to grow. But it's not about, you know, killing yourself on working so many hours and then you end up, you know, you have no more energy. You have your life is going years by years. You're degrading, damaging yourself. You're gaining some mental illnesses also because you're just forcing yourself and pressuring yourself a lot because you want to get to that leadership role or because you want to get promoted. Let's say you want to get to a more senior level. It's not about that, but it's more about you positioning yourself and you have confidence. You do your homework and studying what is that role about, right? You are positioning yourself to understand also how you can, for example, how you can speak and to whom will you speak to gain that role. Because sometimes for you to be promoted, it's not about, you know, going to your direct manager and asking him to promote you to that role. There are roles in which you will not even have anything to do with your current direct manager. It's probably a role that is in another area, and someone who is responsible of that area, which is the high leader that you should be talking to. That's the right person that you should be actually talking to. Now, will you go to that person and just say quickly, "Hey, I am interested in that role. You know, give it to me." No, you want to create the pathway to that person. You want to create like the network that we say. Being the right network, these are the kinds of moments that you want to create network because you have to be intentional with your career, right? You want that leadership role. That's a fact. That's part of your goal. Now, you also don't want to break your reputation because you have now a reputation of a high caliber professional and you do everything that you do right now. It's okay, it's diligent, you're a professional, you are excellent in everything you do. And you ask yourself, why is my manager not seeing me, or why is the leadership of the company not already promoting me to this next senior role? What sometimes you will encounter, my dear professionals, is that the company is comfortable with you where you are right now and they want to keep you there, right? So they really are not looking forward for you to get to any next senior role or something. You want to remember that your career is your responsibility first. It's primarily your responsibility. which means that you're not leaving the development of your career in the hands of the HR management or any management in the company. You're not leaving your career development just to the mercy of luck or in the hands of luck. No, you are intentional with each step you are giving. You're studying the next leadership roles. You have your own goals. You have, created your own system to get to that next level, to that leadership role. First, you are studying what is that role about and what skills do I have right now that can really add value to that role. Am I really a good candidate to that role? You have to be honest with yourself as well, because I notice some people sometimes they're not really honest with themselves. They want that leadership role, but you look at them, they don't have the right skills for that. They don't have the right skills for that. So you want to do your homework in this part. Study that leadership role that you are desiring, that you want. Study yourself against that leadership role, against the job description of that role. See where you are right now. Do I really have the right skills right now? Am I competent enough for that? Do I have the executive presence already, for instance, in me? Or is it something that I still have to develop? If it's something that you need to work on it, right? But you got to do this, at least these two things. You study the leadership, the leadership role that you want. You study yourself in terms of what skills do you have now. If you say, Susie, right now I have a few skills for that role. I don't have everything, but I have a few. What do you think should I do? Should I forget about this leadership role that I desire? No, I don't think that you should forget about it. I think you should develop the skills that you don't yet have. You should go after investing on the next skills that you need to have to really match the level of that leadership role. If it's a high senior leadership role, the things that you need to master, the things that you don't yet have, you need to master them before you even get there. There are some leadership roles that they're not really that senior. That means that you can get into that leadership role and then learning as you go and then develop as you are doing your job already in that leadership role. But there are certain leadership roles that are more senior that requires you to have certain skills already before you even get there. Why? Because the impact that the business is usually does usually to a leader in that kind of role is huge. It requires you to have a lot of resilience, for example, a lot of toughness, a lot of emotional intelligence. So you want to be smart to that. And the other thing, of course, you already know what I'm going to say. Have some confidence that you're able. Have some confidence. I remember that one time there was an open vacancy at one company that I was working. It was for operations director. And I suggested someone that I knew that could be actually a good fit for that role. I told him, hey, why don't you apply for that position? And this person told me, laughing actually, that he was not able to do that kind of job, role, work, that if the company would hire someone like him, or if the company would put him in that role, the company is not a serious company. And I am looking from an external perspective. I'm looking at him, looking at his skills, his competencies, and I can tell clearly that this man has everything he needs to be in that role. Now, what was missing in him was the right mindset, letting go of the fear, having some confidence that he has more than what he sees in himself. And sometimes it's not about you having the skills or not having the skills, it's you having the right mindset to embrace that leadership role without fear. Because guess what? Most of us, we learn as we go. Most of us, we learn as we are doing the work.
I love that. And I love it's actually most of the time it's mindset, because a lot of time, a lot of people who are having this issue, if they looked around, they will realize that people who are in a senior position and taking the leads are actually younger and have less experience than they are. So it's not, it's most of the time when it comes to senior position, it's actually not about the experience, it's about the character and how you sell yourself. There is one thing here, and I want to go back to. Um, I love what you said about looking at the job. Where do I want to go? Where is the gap? Work on that. And but I want you to kind of just touch on what are the other, these are from my perspective. This is what I as Rizan need to do. We all know the story of the table and trying to get seat on the table. We all have the conversation about the men club, and I think I honestly I don't like these. They do exist in a lot of places, but I believe it has been proven that these could be tackled. So if someone did it, then you can do it. So there's no point of us keep talking about it. But what I want
Mhm.
to kind of maybe touch on in the time that left for us, um, what are the important factors in the workplace that, let's say I did the job, right? I know exactly where I want to go. I looked at the job. I kind of see I'm ready. I did my homework. I had the conversation with my manager saying, I want this role. What do I need to do? What are the other factors that you saw with during your corporate time that contribute to me getting that job? Because it's not only about me, there's other party in that game. And you mentioned earlier that it might not even be your boss, it could be the boss of your boss, or even the boss of the boss of your boss. What are the elements that I need to keep an eye on or make sure that I have them covered in order to give me the right support to make my effort flourish, kind of a thing?
You mean to grow in your career, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I usually say to people that you need to create a system. Don't just be out there depending on luck, depending that one day someone is going to see my hard work and say, "Hey, let's promote you." Create a system, be intentional, right? And even for my ladies, my ladies that they work with me, and when they say connect to your feminine energy, I also tell them connect to your masculine energy, because what? The feminine energy is the being, you flow, and the masculine energy is the doing, the strategy, the structure. So if you are really intentional with growing your career, you want to have a structure, you want to have a system. Besides having your goals, you want to have a plan to execute these goals, right? So in the system that you're creating, you want to have something that you call personal branding. That's like a tool that you're going to include in the system that you're creating to grow your career. Another tool that you want is the networking, right? In the networking, you will have what I call find yourself mentors, people who will guide you within the company, who will guide you to your next level, who will help you develop your work as you're there. But there is another component or another individual that is quite important that you want to include also in your network, which is what is called sponsors. Let's just face it, life has this thing of um, people who look similar, or people who are friends, people who are part of my group, you know, people who are part of my club. These are the people that I pay attention to. These are the people that I trust. Because if I don't know you, I don't know your work, I cannot trust you. So when I am your sponsor, let's say that I am the CEO of the company and I am your sponsor, I am paying more attention to you, to what you're doing. You are visible to my eyes. Your work is visible to my eyes, which means that tomorrow, because I am the decision maker here, understand what I am saying, ladies. You are having a sponsor, someone that is part of the table of the decision makers, right? So when I'm thinking about promoting, when we are talking about how we're going to grow the business, how we're going to go to the next phase of the business, okay, we need a new project manager for this specific project. And then because you are being sponsored by someone who is in this table of the decision makers, you are probably going to be mentioned in that table. And that's how things work. It's not just about you hard working, doing a lot of things, and you're trying to even flatter your boss. No, no, no. You're trying to be, nicey, and you bring candies to your boss, and then you bring him the coffee, and then you give him all every morning, like, hey boss, good morning. How you doing? How was your week? Everything okay? The weekend, everybody okay? No. I know. It happens, Rizan. It really happens that sometimes we
No,
think
it
we need
does.
to
It
flatter.
does. And I laughed because I am actually one of the managers who hate that. Like I just hate it. And it happens that I worked with some people who come from this culture, and it took me so long to kind of give them the message that you don't need to do that with me. I can see you, and you don't need to do that. Like literally you don't. Like it's unwanted efforts. Like
Oh my goodness.
but
So well,
let's be real. A lot of managers want it as well. So
yeah,
poor, like
that is true.
there's a lot of poor people out there. They have to do this. Like yeah,
Now, here, that's really beautiful that you just mentioned now that a lot of managers they want that, they like that. What I
yeah.
like to introduce here is what I call, the secret to have like a really good love relationship, which is to love someone in their love language instead of in yours love language, right? You you study your manager. That's, I was gonna say that already. It's about studying people, studying the situation, studying the circumstances, the context, everything in life. It's about educating yourself about that topic. Now you have this manager. You need to understand at least his behavior, his character, his profile, his personality. You learn a little bit every day about him, what the things he like, but it's not about flattering. It's not like something that you're just doing because you actually hate doing that. But he's the boss. I just want to bring him the coffee because he likes it. No, but it's being intentional and saying, you know what? I am kind and I like to bring coffee to my boss. Now, will I say that you can bring him coffee every day? No, please, no, no. Once in a while, yes, but now every day, no. And the worst thing is what we see sometimes in the workplace is you bring the coffee and then you want to stay there chatting with your managers, chatting 30 minutes, 1 hour, you're wasting the time and the energy of your manager. And you think, oh no, he's interacting. He's actually liking, he likes my conversations. She likes my conversations. For real? Are you sure about that? Maybe he or she just being polite with you and she's not able to say, hey, you know what? I have, sometimes, you know what bosses they will do? I have a meeting right now, like they don't have a meeting right now. They just want you to vanish.
Or they want you to spill the tea of what's going on the floor.
Exactly that. I mean, it's it is not bad when you're being genuine, right? When your intentions are genuine. But if you're doing that because you want a salary raise, a promotion, that's not the good road to go. That's not. You don't want to go that road.
I think honestly, I think personally, me being a person who doesn't, who's not good at that, but also I spent years and years in the corporate. I can sadly say that a degree of that is needed. Unfortunately, that's a fact. But I love what you said is you need to kind of know the fine line and the balance between doing it in and as authentic as possible without crossing the line of being a busboy. So I think that's kind of a very important thing. I loved what you said about sponsor, right? And I 100% agree. I think promotions, especially at a certain level, it happens in a room where you're not there and you need someone to advocate, or you need someone to
Uh,
mention your name, to even tell the rest of the world that you actually exist. Because sometimes a lot of people don't see you. Um, but I know what's the questions on a lot of people's head. How can I build that I'm not even gonna ask, how do I find a sponsor? But I would say, how do I build that sponsorship relationship? And I think we can close with
Okay. Well, first you have to be genuine with your intention. It's not just building the sponsorship relationship because you want him or her to one day mention your name in the table of, where the money is being resolved for the company.
you
No.
would know it. A lot of people will do that.
Okay. But you want to be genuine and be caring for whoever is going to be your sponsor. But yes, you also are treating yourself. You're taking care of yourself, your career, and that's okay. That's a good thing. That's not really bad. Now, you are studying the company. You know the business of the company. You know who are the decision makers. The decision makers are the people that you want to have as sponsors, not just someone who doesn't have a say someone who is not even in those rooms. It's not going to do much for you. But what you want to try is to create your visibility. How you create your visibility is to show up. How you show up, you show up to your work with diligence every day, is at least according to your agreement, your contract with the company. And you also show up by showing work, not being lazy, not being chatty and bringing coffee to chat and waste people's time and energy all the time. Because your work is going to speak loud both ways, even in the negative, is the same as in the positive. If you're not doing your work properly, people will notice that too. If you're doing your work properly, if you're delivering things, if you're growing the business of the company, that's also not going to be unnoticed. That's not going to go unnoticed. That is going to be what is going to, in a very kind of quiet way, speak your name in certain rooms. People will start asking, oh, we won that contract? Yes, that contract actually is ours. Oh, who is the responsible in this contract? Oh, it's so and so. Okay, so and so is working with the team of three people. Okay, who are the three people that he or she is working with that were responsible to win this contract? Do you understand what I'm saying, ladies? It's your work, what you're doing as well.
And
I
it's
know I
not
said
bragging. If it's true and it happens, it's not bragging. It's just a stating fact.
just stating facts, exactly that. Because it is true, because it happened. You're not inventing, you're not using anyone else to do the work, and then you just putting your label, your name in the top of it, like I did the work. No, you really did the work yourself. You had a team and you worked with your team. You and your team executed that job and you gained that contract. This is never going to be unnoticed, guys, because this is part of the diligence of a business. For a business to grow, it requires people to work. Remember what I mentioned in the beginning. Actions brings clarity. The more, the bolder steps, the bolder actions you give, the more clarity you're gonna have towards how am I going to get to those tables? How am I going to get to that room? Who am I going to talk to? And more access you're going to have to these people as well. Now, let me speak about very practical things that I see in the workplace that is killing some of the professionals or killing their careers. Sometimes in the office you have events like corporate dinners, conferences, networking like that. And some professionals, they say, I don't like this kind of gatherings. I'm just gonna go home. Wrong. Negative for your career. Where do you think you're gonna find the sponsors? You do not see your CEO every day in the office, guys. You will see them in those dinners. You will see them in those conferences. If you were invited to travel to another city or another country for a conference, for a seminar or something, you want to go. Don't find an excuse unless you really have like a situation going on in your life. But if you're available, do it. Show up. Go. Be visible. Be visible. Don't underestimate the power of people seeing you physically. Don't. So you want to do that. That's how you're building your network. That's how you position yourself in the right places where you know, okay, the CEO is there, the director of that area is there, the founder is there, the people, the right people, the decision makers of this business are here in this dinner. And then slowly, with your charisma, with your confidence, you initiate conversations. By then, guys and ladies, you have already mastered the art of articulating your ideas. At least that you already know how to make a normal professional conversation, business conversation.
Love that. Love that. Susie, the 1 hour and a half had flown by as usual.
No
I
way.
really enjoyed this conversation. I think there's a lot that people can grab from here today. And I just wanna, maybe we can, what would you close? What would be your message for all the people who are out there, whether women or men, who are looking to step into um, their next step? They want to increase their salary, they want to get that promotion, they want to get that executive presence or executive role. What would you say to them?
Well, I will say to everybody what I would actually say to my younger self if I knew that, which
Yeah,
is
love that.
which is take your career development to your own hands. Do not leave the development of your career in the hands of the HR of the company, in the hands of the management of the company. Do your own life. Take the leadership of your own life, and your career is part of your life. It's primarily your responsibility. Stop complaining about the boss that you have, the issues that you have in the company, the salary that they're paying you that is so low, and all of the issues that are happening in the toxic environment. Do something about it. Remember, it's your life. It's primarily your responsibility to change it. The companies, ladies and guys, companies can only help you so much. They can only help you to the limits of their own walls, the walls of their business, to the limit of their business volume. You know, when if you take the leadership of your own career, of the development of your career, you expand yourself to the world, because the world is full with several companies, companies that are paying better, companies that are giving better roles, companies that are more considerable with their professionals. So you want to expand yourself instead of staying narrowed in that place. If you, this is a beautiful quote, if you do not like where you are, move. You're not a tree.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, we're moving. And I actually need to run to catch my airplane back to Dublin because I'm not a tree, I'm moving. I love that.
Amazing, amazing.
I love taking that power back. I love
Mhm.
you telling us if we don't like who we are, what we're doing, where we are, how we're being treated, how we've been valued, do something about it. And if if you are not doing something about it, why are you expecting other people to do? Right. So I love that's your closing note. Susie, it's been a pleasure. I really enjoyed that conversation. And happy International Women's Day or month.
Hi.
And
What?
thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Rizan. Same to you. Happy celebrate there in UK and when you go to Dublin as well. And I want to actually wish the same to all other ladies that are hearing us. Just go and celebrate this month. It's a beautiful month. And even after this month, ladies, you don't have to wait for March to celebrate yourself. You're a beautiful human. You are here with a purpose. There is a mission for you. Go out there, show up, be beautiful, shine, and don't be afraid. Fill yourself with confidence and believe that you are a magnetic woman and a high quality professional as well.
I love that. Thank you so much.
All
I
right.
think that's the best closing ever. Have a lovely day,
Thank
Susie.
you. You
Bye
too,
bye.
Rizan. Bye, everybody. Bye bye.
I am trying to